Hey, what do you say? The Saints are in first place today. Saints beat the Colts 38-27. Big win for the black and gold. And my hat is off to them and to Dennis Allen, Pete Carmichael, Derek Carr, all three of which took a lot of heat over a long week after the Thursday Night Football loss to Jacksonville, which was bad for many, many reasons. Took a lot of heat during a long week and went out and played a really solid game today. It wasn't perfect. Defense got down early, gave up a couple of long runs. First time we've seen that this year with Taylor and Moss both popping off 40-plus yard runs. Of course, you had the strip sack of Derek Carr. So far from perfect. I mean, you were up 2 scores late. You allowed them to go on a really quick 6-play drive with about 8 minutes to go to get right back in it. But then you made the play late. Obviously, the deep ball to Shaheed put it away. So, man, that coupled with the fact that Atlanta loses. No worry, bro. You got it. Jackass. That coupled with the fact that Atlanta loses and the New Orleans Saints are tied for first place in the NFC South. So, the Titans / Oilers did us a favor today. Few quick thoughts on the game itself. Obviously, you put up 500 yards, and the TV broadcast flashed that stat. First time we've seen the Saints go 4 consecutive games over 400 yards since, I'd say 2018 or 2019. It's been a minute. I mean, Breeze and the Saints in their prime. So we just haven't seen the offense catch fire like that. Huge part of it, I thought, was Alvin Kamara running the football, which opened up Taysom Hill. Love to see what they did with Hill, getting him active. We actually saw Juwan Johnson come up with a big catch today, converting a 3rd down and long, which he had been completely MIA. I know he'd been injured, but forcing the football to Juwan Johnson today, I shouldn't say forcing it, but targeting Juwan Johnson today was a welcome sight. Going with Taysom Hill in the red zone. I mean, first red zone trip, and you got right in the end zone on a beautiful pass to Kamara over the middle where it was just all will. Him breaking tackles, leaping over guys, quintessential Alvin Kamara. So it felt like a little bit of a throwback today, man. Watching the Saints offense really get going, put up a season-high 38 points. And if we're being completely honest, probably could have been even more than that. But few other thoughts aside from that. I mean, look, let's be honest too. Your offensive line, which had been much maligned this year, Andrews Pete started left tackle, Garcia started left guard, so you had really a new left side of the line. They held up pretty well. You ran the ball effectively, for over 200 yards today, which huge hat tip to the offensive line. Saw Jamal Williams have a couple of nice runs, including that one where he hopped like a kangaroo. They even made mention of it on the broadcast. He got up really fired up. If you have that tandem, they took a few opportunities to call Kendre Miller's number, both running and passing. Threw him a nice little screen pass on the left side where he got about a 10-yard gain. So I'm not looking at a box score. I'm driving. Drew and I are going to the mall. Say hi, Drew. Say hi.
Hi.
Drew's fired up. Hey, what do we say when the Saints win?
Who dat?
Who dat is right. It is just way, way, way more enjoyable of a Sunday when the Saints don't break our hearts. So, not going to lie to y'all, man. When the Saints were up 2 scores and then they gave up that real quick drive there with about 8 minutes to go, I was nervous. And then, the Saints punted the ball back and allowed the 3rd and 18 conversion. That's when they converted the 3rd and 18, I thought, they're going to go give up a score and they're going to tie this game and it's going to come down to a Blake Groupie kick at the end. But the defense got off the field, which is great to see. The defense wasn't great today. They gave up a lot of yards and points. That Colts offense is one of the best in the NFL, 6th or 7th in the NFL in scoring. And so they made plays. And you tip your hat to the other guy when they make plays, and they did today. But it felt like the Saints defense was really opportunistic. How about Isaiah Foskey coming up with a big strip sack that was the touchdown that Passanio scooped and scored that they overruled, which was probably the right call, but still great to see Isaiah Foskey go make a play like that. You know, when you were in a one-score ball game and Colts are driving, you know, a 21-20 game, and you know, you come up with a Debo comes up with a big interception in the end zone. So it was moments like that where when you had to make the play, it felt like today you made the play. So, I mean, we could look back at that sequence near the goal line where, you know, you got a goal-to-go situation and you end up with a penalty. By the way, the penalty they called on Eric McCoy for moving the football, like, I wanted to jump in the screen and bitch slap that referee. Are you kidding me? Watch every play of any football game ever, and the first thing the center does is when he puts his hand on the ball is he picks it up and puts it back down. Now, yes, that's a false start. It's actually a live ball is what it is if you pick it up. Like, but it's never called. It's just an understood thing. And thankfully, it didn't hurt the Saints because they scored with Taysom Hill there, but almost unfathomable to see that happen the way it did. But the big picture is, look, you know, we got a lot to dissect to the game. We'll get to all that on Monday. But the big picture is, you know, this is a team that, in my hands in the air, I've been as critical as anybody of this team, and it's been warranted. But, you know, you as a professional, you could do one of two things in that situation. You know, whenever you have a day like you did last Thursday and all the criticism that came of it, and then this week, of course, the Chris Olave's arrest and just everything that followed, all the criticism of Pete Carmichael, of Derek Carr, and Dennis Allen, it's all been warranted. I mean, it's all been warranted. All of the criticism is warranted. But as a compliment to this team and these players, amid all of that negativity and all that criticism, they banded together and went and put together, you know, a solid 4 quarters and got a win on the road, which is hard to win in the NFL. It's harder to win on the road in the NFL. It's sure hard as hell to win by 2 scores in the NFL. So Saints go get a win on the road, and, of course, the Falcons losing. Now the Saints are tied for first place in the division, and such is the lot of a team in a bad division where first place. I don't know that this necessarily changes my overall view on the team or the franchise or anything like that, but what it's done is it's put you in the driver's seat in the NFC South. So, you know, you have a very winnable game at home next week. You got to go get it. You know, and that's, if you're going to be a good team, you got to be able to consistently win the ones that you're supposed to win. You know, you gagged away games against Green Bay and Houston earlier this year with late gaffes. You know, now you're coming home against a team that's not going to have Justin Fields, and you got to go win this game. You got to go win this game at home against Chicago next week to keep putting pressure on the rest of the league. So, phenomenal day by Rashid Shaheed, 3 catches for over 150 yards. Derek Carr had a really good day throwing the football. Michael Thomas with a couple of drops was a little bit concerning, but by and large, to see 3 running backs get involved, a whole bunch of receivers, Derek Carr have a solid day. Your offensive line, for the most part, kept Derek Carr upright, which was great to see. And the defense gave up yards and points, but they were opportunistic when they needed to be, and you got to win. So, who dat? We can all relax for a few days anyway, and hope that this team can go make it 2 in a row next Sunday. All right, who dat? Saints get the win. Do me a solid. Please smash that like button. Appreciate y'all as always. Drop your comments. Love to interact. We'll get to that. As I go walk around the mall here, I'll read some of your comments. So fire away if you got them. Appreciate y'all so much. Who dat? Have a great rest of your Sunday.